Yeah. Hey, my apologies. It's so funny. I actually forgot that I had even scheduled this. I was just commenting and responding to a bunch of questions. Oh, here I have a weird overlay going on. Welcome here. We just went live with our TTS. Let me just kind of get this the comments showing up on screen. It's exciting. There's a lot of content in this version. Make sure that you go to the GameFound page, you read the update. We're doing a contest as well, so make sure to sign up, enter to win your chance of one of 3 free copies of Threshold. We are also, something cool with that is if you have any friends, just make sure to send them the referral link. That'll get you some more entries. I think it gets you 5 entries for every referral link that gets accepted on the friend's end. Um, we have a question about how much will the core game be? It'll be. I like doing references, so it's gonna be. Oh, let me actually see. I think it's more than Below Asylum, which is one of the new games on and GameFound. And is it more than Below Asylum? I don't even know. What is their standard pledge? Standard pledge €95. So more than Below Asylum, less than Elder Scroll Core Box. I think that it's so somewhere in there. It's a big That's a big gap. I don't even know what the Elder Scrolls Core Box is right now. Is it 200, 185? I think it was 185 in the first campaign, but I'm pretty sure it's not anymore. So anyways, it's somewhere in there. We have a couple different pledges. We'll have that pledge. We'll have a gameplay all-in pledge, a gameplay with minis and a collector's edition. Yeah, to answer your question, it's closer to Below Asylum than it is to it's closer to Below Asylum than it is to the Elder Scrolls. Hopefully that answers it. So the game is Sebastian Cador is asking how replayable the game is. I think it's very replayable. A couple different ways. One, the actual game itself, the narrative, we're going to balance it in such a way. And then, as I was playing through through the alpha again, there's a bunch of balancing that we need to change, and so we're gonna tweak some balancing, but we're balancing it in such a way where you don't need to 100% all of the quests in order to reach kind of the level cap in each of the zones, each of the regions, and so first region 1 to 15, second 15 to 30, third region 30 to 40, and then we have an expansion region, which is I think we're doing 10 to 25. And so each of those regions will have more quests and more adventures than you will need to get through. You could 100% everything, but there are kind of branching options in some of the elements of the game. So there's replayability there, but I actually think one of the biggest replayability elements of Threshold is actually kind of the same replayability that you get when playing Diablo or Path of Exile or World of Warcraft Classic. I'll say WoW Classic. It's in your build variety. It's okay. Hey, I ran through this last game as like a shield and sword fighter. Okay, what if I play a fighter again, but instead of being shield and sword, what if I am like a magic, or yeah, kind of a paladin style? So maybe I have a big axe. Well, this isn't. Maybe we could be a berserker, right? So a big axe. I'm all brutality. I have no armor on. Maybe you're just all in momentum. So like momentum and movement skills and brutality. So you're like in and out, but just swinging an axe like that for me is where I think the most replayability is. In the build and theory crafting that you can get in this game. It's so cool that it's the options are just they're they're so wide, and so it's one of the reasons why I love, I love kind of booting up a new character in Diablo or Path of Exile, 'cause it's like, "Hey, who do I wanna be this game?" I was a fire mage last time. Okay, who do I wanna be this time? Also, core game, leveling experience, probably between 30 and 50 hours, and depending on how fast you are and, your play count and all that stuff. But then on top of that, we have an end game experience, which is it's not infinite, but in some ways it is. Like you could almost virtually you could play for as long as you play the first chunk. But that end game will really tailor towards people who are like all in on optimization. They want the most of it. They want to see how far they can push a character build and how difficult of encounters they could do. In some ways, when I've been talking to the team about it, if you've played Spirit Islands difficulty settings, you know how like Spirit Island it just gets more and more and more and more difficult, and you can kind of push. We're gonna kind of capture some of that with our end game, but we're gonna tie in some progression loops as well. So your character is kind of getting a little bit more powerful, incrementally more powerful, but you are you're still pushing yourself against harder and harder characters and enemies. Uh, Sebastian's asking, do you follow a story or is it free form every session? Yeah, so very similar to an MMO structure. You have a main storyline. Actually, in some ways actually our story structure is very similar to like Skyrim. You have a main storyline. We have a couple guild faction storylines that will kind of continue throughout the rest of the game, and then we have like side quests, and those are maybe one-offs or other, in the first region you might fight the bandits. There's, I think, a 3 quest chain in the first region that you might be able to play if you do the open alpha test this weekend. So yeah, main storyline, yes, and then a bunch of side quests. But some people play these games and, and they just click skip on story, and others love the story. So it's we're kind of tailoring to both. Uh Bronu, I am so sorry. My French is so bad. I did grade 12 French, but I'm Canadian and I went to Quebec, so apologies. I don't have Google Translate open for me. So feel free to send me a question in the game is coming in French, so we are committed to German, French, and English off the top, potentially more languages as we go. Matt Lapointe is asking, can you discuss the guilds and worldwide events that you discussed before? Uh yes. So I posted an update in the announcements channel in Threshold, and um this is so and I'm gonna do a blog post, and it's gonna be reflected in our Game Found page. We are the announcement was titled, hey, where's the MMO? I think, and we're pitching this as like, hey, an MMO style game. So it's like we're pitching it as that. It's like, where's the MMO? And we've had a bunch of ideas from the beginning, but kind of where we ended up landing is a few different things. One, we want the whole game and all content to be accessible kind of offline. That means like solo or cooperative with your table. So no content will be gated. Like no progression content, like rewards, will be gated in certain gameplays. So that's the start. We do have a mode that's basically our raid mode, which is taking our concept of threshold dungeon. Threshold dungeon is 3 concurrent rooms, so 3 combat encounters that are linked with kind of short rests in between, so little recharges in between, but they're hard, and it culminates in a boss fight. So we're taking that concept of these 3 concurrent combats and we're elevating it. It's like, hey, what if we had multiple tables, 3 tables playing the same kind of dungeon together? So imagine if you're in person, you have 3 tables set up and 3 groups of 4 people, and they each are doing a different room in the same dungeon, and their objectives outcomes will impact each other's second rooms objectives and outcomes, which will impact the third room. So it's like everyone's kind of working together as they go. And so Luke and I, we've been discussing. Luke has kind of developed a test, and we might. I think our plan is to try to host a live stream during the campaign of a 12-player raid. It might be wild because I'm trying to think of the last time something like this has been done. I'm sure it's been done, but I know for a style like this, and I recognize like, hey, this is a little bit of a moonshot. We have no idea how many people are going to want to do this, but it's not a crazy amount of dev time for us, because we already have the structures and systems in place. It's just kind of creating these new custom scenarios, which I think will be fun for the people who engage. And then we're also using our Discord channel for an opportunity for people to join a guild, make a guild, which is just kind of social gatherings. And if they want to facilitate running these raids together, they absolutely can. Just a little bit. There'll be more. We'll discuss more about that in the future. But yeah, if you want to join a guild, you absolutely can. We have 3 right now in our Discord. You can go there, join the guild, and we can go from there. Okay, Orami SC is asking, will there be stretch goal with more characters and other overworld maps? So yes and no. No, there are stretch goals. We have a lot of different stretch goals planned. Some are kind of daytime, so like on days 4, I think every 4 days we have a different stretch goal. And then we have some monetary stretch goals as well. But so those stretch goals are the monetary, mostly new stuff. The day goals are kind of some new kind of mini expansions that we're including in the core box, which I think are pretty cool. And then we also have three total regions. So 3 of those massive dual layer regions in the core box, which is a ton of content, and 4 heroes, so 4 characters also in the core box. And then we have 2 other ones that will be expansion characters. That will be purchasable as expansion characters with kind of expansion pack. They're going to have their own skill pack, like a unique skill set, and their own kind of class cards. So yes, so yes and no on that. Christian's asking about the price point for the standee gameplay all in. The price point is it's going to be like, it's not going to be shocking for people. It's not going to be shocking. There's a ton of content in this game, and so I think if you're used to GameFound kind of crowdfunding campaign price points, it'll be kind of similar to what you're expecting for a GameFound page. You can also pledge. You can do the stretch pay. So we'll have stretch pay for 10 months for all the pledges. And our plan is to. I think we're going to lock in the date here. I think we're going to lock in the date, but our plan is to have. So we're discussing. Our plan is to have the game fully finished, files off to printer. I believe our date is December 1st, and of next year, not of this year. We have a decent amount of work, so that's early 2027 delivery is what we're planning for the game. And we think it's reasonable. And for those of you who have been with OpenL for a while, you know that we've had maybe a hard time fulfilling games on schedule in the past. Games kind of grow and get bigger. Stone Saga is one that has been late, but we are delivering it in manufacturing right now. It's those things, they take a while for a company to work out the kinks, especially in the development of these massive games. I do want to venture a really good guess. We've had a couple of really key hires, some really key people on our team that have stepped up and kind of brought in a bunch of systems in place and have really kind of tightened down our development cycle. And so, I think we've shown a record of recent projects of actually being pretty good in this delivery department. So, when I think of Stars 1.5, the Mythwind reprint expansions, and Storyfold, being our last three campaigns, kind of delivering all on time, early, or 1 month late, I think. So, pretty happy about that. We have another question about how long will the campaign be open for? That's a good question. I have it open. We have it open. Let me just double check. We're going into settings. We're looking here, and the tentative plan is 11/21. So I believe it's Friday, November 21st. But there's the asterisk. GameHound does their end game mode, where if people pledge in the last 5 minutes, the timer keeps on ticking up and up and up. And so maybe we will go till December. How incredible would that be? That would be awesome. So, yeah, that's great. Lucas is asking about the length of the total game. So the level 1 to 40 experience is 30 to 50 hours, roughly 30 to 50 hours. I'd kind of lean towards the 40 to 50. That's level 1 to 40. It depends on your player count. The So that's like game 1. Game 2 is the end game. If you want to kind of take your character, continue to optimize, do some progression, but also push. You could take your same amount of time, double it. So there's a ton of content there, a lot of replayability. The combat's great. It's fun. So if you like the style of combat, if you like the deck building, if you like kind of the exploring the world, all those elements, there's a lot there. Super excited for have everyone to jump in. We'll see where people are at with the Steam download. It's a big game, and as you all are diving into the open alpha this weekend and next weekend, those who are at Essen next weekend, we open it up this weekend so that you could participate. We have a lot. Make sure to join the Discord. There's a great community in Discord that will kind of continue being able to help, sharing information, all that kind of fun stuff. And so we're thrilled with that. Evan is asking about plans for future expansions with new regions, higher max level, etc. Yeah. So great questions, Evan. The current plan for our GameFound launch here is we're going to have one region expansion. A region expansion isn't going to increase level cap. It's going to get kind of inserted alongside. So I mentioned this earlier, but we have 3 regions in the core box: 1 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 40 levels, and then we have a expansion region, which right now we're tentatively saying levels 10 to 25. So you can kind of jump in between the regions as you go. So that's what we're having. And then future, yeah, we want to finish developing this game, get it sorted, get it backed by a lot of people, and deliver it. And then we do, we have hopes and dreams of continuing to support this game. We open out. I think we have a pretty good track record of not just doing a one and done campaign. If a game is received well and campaign does well, we tend to follow it up with reprint campaigns and new content. And so that's what we plan on doing with Threshold. I think there's a lot of potential here, where we can introduce new systems, new characters, new skill groups, new classes, new regions, push the level cap for. There's a lot of things that we can do that. Yeah. And yeah, Sebastian, there is the alpha and all the instructions. Check your emails. It is in the It is in GameFound, most recent GameFound updates. It's great. Okay, so I do have to cut this short. I have a few family obligations that I gotta get to, and so I had a hard cut at 8:30. But don't worry, we'll continue kind of doing these live streams as we get closer to launch. Launch is less than 2 weeks away. I don't even have the timer, but make sure to join Discord, read the GameFound update, and make sure to check out the game. And if you don't check out the game, there's a lot of videos that are dropping, and will continue to drop. I think Paul Grogan is doing, from Gaming Rules. He has a video live stream on Monday that he's going to do, and there's a bunch of other people who are going to continue to post videos as they go. All right, everyone, take care.